Hey, this is week 3 of this 8-week cycle. We've been doing squatting every Monday, and we're going to work on overhead squats today. So overhead squats are the hardest version of squats that we do. A lot of core stability, shoulder mobility, and so we'll talk about position and then give you some scaling options if you need. So basic setup, if you're coming out of a rack, you put the bar on your back to start. Okay, you stand straight up, take a step back, and then find your grip. So for most people, that's going to be a pretty wide grip just outside the mark on the bar. But if you need to measure the grip, what you can do is when it's hanging at your hips, this is what we consider our snatch grip. You want to hold the bar as wide as it is in the crease of the hip. Okay, so you can look down at the bar, establish the distance from the collars, or use any markings to figure out where that grip would be before you start. Okay, so once you establish that grip, all right, you find it. From here, you set your feet right into your hips. You're going to jump the bar up overhead. Okay, so this is the shoulder position we want to maintain. If you notice, my armpits are facing forward versus down. Okay, so I keep my armpits forward. My elbow pits are facing the sky, and my wrists are flexed back just a little bit. If you look at it from the side, you can see my wrists are flexed back. If you hold the bar perfectly straight like that, it's really hard to squat. So you want to be in this position. So fighting to keep this shoulder and overhead position is the priority over how deep you squat. So when you first learn, we recommend starting really light, even PVC pipe, and really working on holding this position. You find your squat stance, eyes and chest up the entire time, and then you're going to do a squat all the way down, all the way up. Okay? When you bring the bar down from overhead, if you're not comfortable and it's heavy, you drop the bar to the ground with the bumper plates. Otherwise, you're going to lower it to your back and then walk it back into the rack. Okay, so again, talking about that position. So if you're without the bar, if you look, armpits forward the entire time. So when you start, again, PVC pipe or light bar, really move nice and slow. Think hips back, keeping that position open. A common fault right when people start to squat is the shoulders and chest drop. Okay, and then you're going to find it hard to get into that deep squat. So from the side, you're pushing, reaching back, eyes and chest up, all the way down, all the way up. So if you're new to this movement, if you struggle with the mobility, we recommend keeping the bar light, okay? And maybe doing more reps. So we're only doing 3 reps if you're doing this as prescribed, starting at about 65%, building up into a 7 out of 10 difficulty. If, again, you're keeping it super light, you can go slow. So do the 3 reps, but we do what we call a tempo, where you go slow. Maybe you can't make it all the way down, and stand back up. You're just learning the movement, reinforcing good positioning. We don't want to squat where we're getting below parallel, but our arms bend, or we have a crappy shoulder position, okay? If you absolutely cannot do the overhead squat, or you just want to do some weight, do front squat. So you're going to come out of the rack in a front rack position and just work on front squats, okay? So you do the same thing. All right, this would be 3 reps per round, 5 sets, and we're going every 90 seconds. That's our strength today. Let's talk about conditioning. All right, guys, we got a great leg workout, and unique because we're going to be doing back squats out of the rack, right? So the idea here is we have rowing, 350 meters for guys, 300 for women, and then working in between after the row, a set of 18, 15, 12, 9, 6 are the reps of back squats. And this will be based off your 1 rep max, 60% of your 1 rep max back squat, all right? So this is meant to be heavy. That in those first couple rounds, you're going to have to re-rack the bar and break it up into 2 or 3 sets. Okay, so tough on the legs. The rowing will be more of like probably active recovery, depending how heavy you're going. But just a quick review for the back squat. When you come out of the rack, always start by setting yourself up as strong as you can. So don't rush it. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Stand straight up. Step back. Okay, we're not rushing this. So take a big deep breath at the top, even though if you're breathing heavy. All right, staying tight, as efficient as you can the entire time. Anytime you get tired, you re-rack the bar, step away, shake it out, and work through it, okay? If you do not have a 1 rep max back squat, you can adjust. If you really aren't sure, go on the lighter side, all right, if you're debating between weights, and feel free to adjust from round to round depending on how you're feeling, okay? For some of the busier classes, you might have to share a bar. This is more about hitting those back squats at a higher heart rate, even if you had to adjust the weight. But we do have an 18-minute time cap, so it should be plenty of time to get through it, even with some rest in there. But a fun workout for today, guys. Have fun with it. We'll see you tomorrow.